Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to another On Purpose Connection. I'm your host, Leslie Saglio, and as you know, that this series was born last month really for Women's History and International Women's Day, where I started to highlight women in our On Purpose collective that were doing some amazing, incredible, inspiring stuff all around the world. And so I'm so excited to continue this series, and once a month, and this month I'm bringing to you someone super, super special, a friend of mine, Caroline White, who I actually met 4 years ago here in Barcelona. And she is known as one of the go-to personal branding and portrait photographers for entrepreneurs, coaches, and thought leaders, having photographed Marie Forleo, Amy Porterfield, Chalene Jackson, Marianne Williamson, Michael Beckwith, Jason Silva, Bernie Sanders, and many more. She has been a professional photographer for 16 years. She's a former actress. Her photography business has been a full-time one for 10 years, i.e. she quit the biz in 2011, 2012. She's based in Los Angeles. She also does underwater photography, drone videography, food photography, and sells fine art prints. Last year, she retired the retreat arm of her business, having led boutique adventure retreats to Cuba, Greece, and Paris, to turn towards capturing other entrepreneurs' retreats. Her current personal side projects include fine art nudes, abstract and otherworldly underwater portraits, and also a project titled Sea to Table, documenting sea life, seafood, and the people who both capture and create sustainable feasts, from the family meal to fine dining. Top of her list for travel, Madrid in 2021, Maine, Sicily, Japan, and Colorado. Woo! So excited to have you here. Hello,
Thank you so much.
Caroline.
Hi, thank you so much for that introduction. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it. You deserve it. I'm so excited to have you here. And yes, I love to just start off always with my guests, just to talk about you, just sharing what does On Purpose mean to you?
Oh man. I think it means having intention behind what you're doing. Um, I don't know. That's a tricky question for me actually, because I like to also do things sort of experimentally sometimes and just follow my curiosity and so I like to be on purpose, but I also like to just have no purpose sometimes. Um, but that's sort of a purpose too, to have no purpose, like to have sort of like these little mini escapes from daily life.
I
Yeah.
love that. We're going to dive more
Yeah.
and unpack that with you. So, yeah, just share with us a little bit about yourself and how you even got into photography.
Yeah. I was always creative. I was always an artist, and I went into acting. I got my degree in acting from NYU and lived in New York City. And but I was getting my picture taken a lot as an actor. And I remember that always stuck out in my mind. Every time I would have a photo shoot, I would sort of take notes on what I liked, what I didn't like. Same thing with the resulting photos. And then I also was working in casting a lot. So I was going through so many pictures, and I was like, why are these all so bad? And I thought that even I had an internship when I was 18. I had just moved to New York City, and I had an internship for the casting directors of The Sopranos.
Hmm.
And I didn't know anything about anything, but I still thought like so many of these pictures were so bad. And I was like, why are these so bad? Like I could do better than this. And I had to ask my bosses, I was like, these are bad, right? Like, I just have to check with you, like these, like, cause I don't know anything. These are really bad, right? And they're like, yeah, those are really bad. I was like, okay. So I kind of do know something. So that I kind of filed that away. And as soon as I started like working. I moved to LA in 2005, and I was really lucky. I started doing commercials within like 4 months of moving here. So I was able to quit all the stupid little, actor jobs, side jobs, and buy a camera. And I just started taking people's pictures. And, at that point, I'd been acting for about 10 years. And as soon as I started taking pictures of people, I was like, this feels different. Like, I feel like I'm naturally good at this. Like, acting was something that I always struggled to be consistently good at. And it was just such a mystery that I could never really figure out. And I sort of felt like I was faking it all the time. And I mean, that's acting. It is faking it.
That's part of it. It's
It
part of
is
it. A little bit of
faking
faking.
So it just was a different feeling of like being like naturally good at something consistently, and having a confidence from the beginning, and having ideas, and it just was such a different feeling. So I kept doing photography, 50-50 with acting. So I was just doing actors headshots for the first 5 years, and that was really great practice. I don't really have any training really. Maybe I've taken some online courses in photography, but I don't think I've ever taken one in person even. Wow. Oh, there was one in college, like as just an elective. And there was one in junior high school but that was all black and white film in the lab and with the chemicals and stuff. So it had nothing to do with like personal branding or marketing. I mean, that hadn't even been invented really yet. So
yeah, this was before digital cameras. You were working with actually developing your feel, I imagine.
Yeah, but it was really just a hobby. I never thought about making money at it or doing it regularly. Cause like I borrowed a camera, in the one college class that I took. I borrowed the camera for the semester and then gave it back at the end of the semester and didn't really think anything of it. Like I was taking painting classes, I was taking ballet, I was taking dance. Like it was just another hobby, like to sort of go through the Rolodex of hobbies with. So,
well, I love that you followed, like you just kind of intuitively knew that those photos weren't right. And then you came back to it and you just dibble dabbled in it. And then you just started doing it. I guess my next question is how did you get from doing actors headshots, which was, I'm sure, natural to you because you were around a lot of actors, actresses, to actual, entrepreneurs, coaches, thought leaders? How did you progress to that? Like maybe who was your first client? And then you're like, oh, I could, this is a great market. I mean, I could do this.
It's kind of a ridiculous story.
We want to hear it.
In 2011, I had a horrible burglary and I lost my life's work, all my archives, all my equipment, cameras, computers. I didn't have insurance and I didn't have cloud storage. I became horribly depressed. You guys should all back up your shit to the cloud. Cause you can replace, electronics, but you can't replace if your photos on your phone are not backed up to the cloud and you lose your phone, it's about the photos and the memories and the people. It's not about the, it cost whatever dollars for this object or whatever. So yeah, I became horribly depressed. And that's when I stumbled upon Marie Forleo, and she had this online community and this online business school. And I thought, okay, I can handle this. Cause I wasn't like, I was like just totally mentally in a bad place. So just doing the online thing seemed like doable. I couldn't like go outside, like except to work for like a year after the burglary. And so I fell into that community, and her assistant was an actress, and her assistant hired me and really loved working with me. Her assistant bought my biggest package at the time, which was like a full day for $1,000. I thought no one would ever buy it. This was almost 10 years ago, I guess. And she bought it. So I was like, oh my God, I have to make this package in this day, like absolutely amazing. And it had like every kind of photo under the sun that an actor could possibly need, from headshots to red carpet photos to period piece to like, production stills that look like they're from a movie. And that was Marie's assistant, Louise. So after that, I guess Louise just wouldn't shut up about me to Marie, and Marie hired me. And when Marie's people called to hire me, I almost turned them down. because they wanted a studio shoot with like studio lighting, and I didn't do lighting. I just do natural light. So
Yeah.
I was literally in the middle of telling them, well, I don't do that, to saying, but I can do that for you guys.
Mhm.
I was like, Carolyn, why are you,
It's
what?
very funny.
So I caught myself right in the middle of turning them down and saying, but I can totally do that for you. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So, um, but really it was Louise who, when I gave her photos, she's like, Carolyn, you
Mm,
could photograph entrepreneurs, not just
yeah.
actors. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I've already photographed like 6 or 7 people from B school. Like, there's not really any more. Like, B school was kind of small at the time. It was like, I don't know,
Mhm,
3,000 people around the world. So I
mhm.
was like, I thought 7 was like all there was in LA. And she was like, no, no, there's a whole world out there. And now I'm in that world. But,
Yeah.
I had no idea how big this world was, how much variety
Mm,
of independent entrepreneurs and women
mm,
coaches, like, and
mm,
it just keeps growing. And I think it's really great that the coaching industry is growing,
yeah.
because I think having a day job sucks. And
Mm.
if you can avoid having a day job and a cubicle, then I think do it. I mean, it
Yes.
is kind of a
Yes.
wild ride, like, not having that
Mhm.
security, but so that's kind of what
Mm.
happened. And
Well,
then,
I love the story. I remember we asked you that in Barcelona, which is why I wanted you to share with our viewers the story,
oh my
because
God, I can't
I've
believe you
seen I've
remember.
seen those Marie Forleo shots. They're gorgeous. And now, I mean, obviously, when you took those photos, how long was it ago when you did the with Marie Forleo?
Oh God, I think it was like 2012 or something like
Yeah,
that, I
wow.
would
So
say.
9 years ago, and you can imagine B
Yeah.
School's gone from strength to strength. And I did B School, gosh, I don't even know. I think it was 2016.
I never finished it. I never finished
I
school.
didn't
I don't finish any
either.
courses. I'm a creative.
but
I learn by
um,
doing.
but
I
that's
never
just
finished courses.
amazing. I love the story, how you were in it, and then the assistant reached out, and you just went out of your comfort zone, and you just made sure that it was amazing, and you were doing all the things that you just hadn't done before. And it was so incredible. You showed up so fully that she recommended you more Forleo, and look at all that's inspired. I love the story. And I love the
Thank you.
story how you, I mean, everyone, you're gonna have to, we'll give you the links later, and we'll drop it in the comments of this video. But the photos that Carolyn takes, and I just want to just unpack this a little bit, and just maybe you can share, because how you really just capture the essence of every, well, I think most of your clients are now women entrepreneurs and coaches. I know you work with lots of things. You mentioned you have all these different projects, but I would love to know particularly, how do you capture, because every woman has their unique flavor, essence, and the clients that they serve. And can you just speak more about why is it so important to have photos that can really speak to that? And then how can, how can someone really, I guess, make sure that they have that, other than hire you, but how can they
Yeah.
make sure that
Yeah.
they can
No.
have
Yeah.
that in their business, and why it's so
Yeah.
important?
Yeah. No. I don't want. I don't. Bad photo shoots shouldn't happen to good people, no matter who your
Oh
photographer
my
is.
God.
So I'm with you. Um, I think, entrepreneurship is sort of like pushing this boulder up a hill
Mm,
sometimes. And
yes.
if you can lighten your load, then lighten that load as much as you can. And so I think if you can connect with people through your essence and your images and video and be remembered, you can find your people that way, and it just makes things easier. I've seen people build businesses without photos at all, but
Mm,
that's like really, really rare. It
yeah.
can happen. Um, but I've also heard about people getting like clients, like just because there was a feeling that somebody got from the photo. Because it's, when you're, especially if you're working with like a life coach or a spiritual leader, like the feeling you get from them is so important. And if you look stiff in your photos, they're not gonna dig any further to see what's behind that stiff person. They want to dig further to see what's behind that like lit up, you know, authentic, alive, expressive, free feeling person. Um, so I think like I don't know, my top tips, if you're having a photo shoot with anybody, whether it's like your iPhone with yourself or a
Yeah,
big
give me some
photographer or
top
whatever,
tips.
I would say you got to take a lot of photos, and you have to take the significance off of any one setup or photo, and just, you have to create, it's like a sculpture. You have to get your big block of marble and start chipping away. It's not about placing one perfect brush stroke, and overthinking that one perfect brush stroke. It's like all in, and then take away, the bad, until you like have the gold left over. And I think just confidence, and like in yourself, and self-acceptance, especially now, like that we've just gone through this last friggin' year. We've all put on COVID weight and gone through all sorts of shit. I think letting go of perfectionism, because like really the people that want to hire you, they want to relate to you. They don't want to see and hear a perfect person. They want someone that has something in common with them, which means struggles and flaws and frustrations. And, so I think self-love, self-acceptance, and confidence is easily faked. And wine, just have a glass, just do whatever you need to do to get into your zone. And with some photographers, hopefully it's really easy. And like, I mean, I had a photographer in Barcelona who he didn't say a single word to me. He spoke English, but he didn't say a single word to me for the whole shoot. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing this myself, like getting my, I guess I'm getting myself into like being activated all by myself. And I just acted like such a fool. And I just laughed at myself. And I literally was talking to myself, and I was literally bouncing around to music that wasn't there. And I just was like, we're going to go for this. Like cause it was really special for me, because I was in Barcelona. I was like, this is not a shoot that I can redo, because I'm not coming back for a while. I don't know when I'll be back in Barcelona. It's easy to not put a lot of effort into a shoot when the photographer lives down the street from you. It doesn't feel as significant maybe sometimes. So do whatever you need to do. Put music on, drink wine.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Put music on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Coach yourself, talk to yourself, like really like get into your,
get in the zone.
No, and there's other tricks and stuff. There's posing, and I have a guide on my website that has like tricks and stuff. But
yes, I know about your guide. We'll come to that in a second. And I'm glad you brought that up. So now that you talked about, okay, have confidence, put some music, you even are encouraging, have a little bit of wine. Oh, we lost you for a second. It's Caroline.
Sorry.
Are you there? Okay.
Sorry, that was my Pilates teacher asking me, are you coming this morning? And I'm like, yeah.
So just a quick one. What do you think is one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make when it comes to their branding? Would you say it's photos, or something about photos, or in your experience of working with them?
I think it depends. Like I've seen, there's a few different mistakes that come to mind. One is sort of like flipping their business on its head, like constantly, like too much, and not just committing to one sort of path and niche for a little while.
Yes. Too much reinvention, too much recreation.
Yeah. Like reinventing the wheel, like every week.
Yeah. And my business mentor says the same thing. Like just choose and go deep. Don't keep, you choose and you commit, go deep. And then, then make a decision. So yeah. And what else?
And I think on the other end, people can feel like pinned into a corner. If they've been doing something for a while, they feel scared or unable to go in a new direction. So everything has like a yin and yang, but I do think going deep, like that's the key. Like if you feel like you're in a corner and you want to get out of it, maybe you want to go deeper into that corner and find all these other nooks and crannies. I don't know. I really don't think I'm qualified to like speak on like the mistakes other people make in business, because I can tell you what mistakes I've made for myself, but it's hard to look from the outside at someone else, I mean, yeah, people have crappy pictures. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
I
That is
mean,
a mistake. Like we're saying, it's so important, so important. Like you can get that just like copywriting, right? Or just that one photo that, people they're scrolling, they're on to the next thing. So if it doesn't catch their attention, then they're swiping. They're on to the next one. So it's
or
so
yeah, or
important.
if it's, yeah, or if it's just bad.
Just bad. She's like I saw that one day in New York. They're just bad. And what
Oh
constitutes a
man.
bad photo? Let's hear this. I'm curious. Like what
I mean,
besides
there's
maybe
like,
lighting
yeah,
or like
um,
what? Because
you
there's
know,
so many programs out there, right? With the
um,
filters and all the things that you can shadow erase. Like what could constitute a bad photo these days?
I mean, it's kind of a million little pieces. Like
I
it
know
just
for you,
depends,
you have the photographer eye, but give us like
you
a
know,
beginner's eye.
sometimes
The
like,
one.
there's some of these like BuzzFeed, like top 10, like bad model shoots and stuff where they have like the model in like a giant bowl of salad or like
Okay.
squatting, like, there's certain, I don't know, there's certain things that personally bother me that I notice. But that's because I've been like doing it for so
Yeah.
long that I've just built the layers of like detail up.
Mhm.
Um, so a lot of the photos that I think are bad are probably fine. I mean, they're not great, but it's one thing at a time. Like,
Mhm. Don't worry, I won't put
I don't know.
myself in a salad. I won't put
Yeah, don't,
myself in a salad bowl.
or squat. No squatting.
No squatting.
No
God, if
squatting. It's like,
I'm squatting, there's no camera around with the squat.
yeah,
There's
if
no
you're
camera that I
squatting,
know
it should
about.
be to use the bathroom, not on camera.
God.
Like,
Oh my
it's like a
God.
model. Yeah. I mean, I think the
No, but
fashion
I remember
world.
the trick. I remember the trick you told us. What is that one that you give it to us?
Oh, I, it depends on the
There's
pose. Like,
the pop you said. It makes such a
yeah,
difference.
it's, oh yeah, I like this triangle here.
That's it. See?
I do think like in the modeling world, they put the arm back a lot, which I
Oh,
think
really?
looks
Okay,
really,
I remember that.
I think it looks distorted. I like this triangle
Like the
here.
arm's missing. Where's the arm?
It feels confident, and I don't know. And then the arm doesn't get distorted by putting it back. Like
Mm.
I have like a little baby arm now. I don't know. These are personal preferences of mine, and
Well,
I give
we
every
love hearing your professional tips and tricks because you definitely have been at this for years. You obviously have worked
yeah,
with some incredible roster of influencers and clients from around the world. So we'll just take whatever you're willing to give us in this short amount of time. And I know you're busy. It's morning time over there in Los Angeles. So would love to let people know how they can find out more about you and your work. And we'll drop those
yeah,
in the comments. So how can people
yeah.
find you?
Best place to connect with me or see my more current stuff is on Instagram. My website's a little out of date, but I do have a website.
Mhm.
But my Instagram, my one for personal branding is Caroline W Photo. And then for adventure travel and fish related things, it's Caroline W Travels. And then I also have Caroline W Fine Art, which has nudes and abstracts and sort of trippy, otherworldly stuff. I
Amazing. We're going to
like
drop
having
that. We'll
free.
drop that in the comments of this video. And then how can everyone get that guide? Because I have that guide. That guide's a really good guide. Where can they
I
grab
mean,
that?
hopefully my opt-in on my website is still working.
Marie won't be
If it's
happy with that.
if it's if it's not working, just like reach out to me and ask me for
Okay.
a direct link to the guide, or
Awesome.
even just if people don't want to be on my list, they can just Instagram message me and say, hey, can I get the direct link to the guide, and I'll just send it to
Yeah. And
them.
tell us what's that guide, just so everyone knows, because I know what it
Oh,
is,
it's
but I'll share.
basically like it's just like a branding guide on like helping you discover your ideal customer and some posing tricks and how to prepare for a photo shoot. And basically it's like how to have a good photo shoot no matter who your photographer is. So, if people can download that guide and look at it before they're having a shoot, even if they're just shooting their selfies or whatever, they'll still
Awesome.
get something out of it.
Yes,
Uh,
it's really, really
yeah.
good, this guide. So you want to reach out to Caroline on Instagram. Again, we're dropping the links to those in the comment section of this video. Make sure you reach out to her, follow her. She has some incredible photos, especially now that we haven't really been traveling for a year, and just like looking at all your photos, it's just so inspiring. Like, we'll get there again one day because you're there all around the world with like women at the Eiffel Tower and women in like, you know, Casabayo, like all these different like, and this is really beautiful to see how you capture all the different people in their beautiful essence and who they are.
Thank you. Thanks.
Mm,
It means a lot to me. Thank
yes,
you.
yes. And I'm
I
so
really,
excited for you to come
I
back to
really,
Europe soon.
yeah, yeah, it's happening. It's happening.
It's
It's gonna happen.
happening. It's happening.
Happen.
So last but not least, what advice would you give to your younger self now that you've had all
Oh,
these life experiences?
oh man, so many things. I would tell her, don't worry so much because I'm a worrier. I would honestly, I was thinking about this last night. That was the first thing that came to mind was don't worry so much. I forget what what was the second thing? Oh, the second thing was take care of your body just a little bit better than you are. Put a little more effort into your health and all that. And the third thing that I thought of, and this was all last night as I was like reading the questions, was um to just like not give so much attention and energy to boys and men.
Boys or men? Just boys.
No, men too. But
I
I don't
like
know. I
these.
mean, but I have so many stories and I've had so many adventures
Yeah.
and, so I try not to have regrets, but those were sort of fleeting thoughts that I had of like,
Mm.
I could tell her these three things, but she probably wouldn't listen. So why bother?
Oh, well, I love that. I love them. And thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for joining us today,
Thank you.
Caroline. It's such a
Thank
pleasure to always
you.
connect with you, whether it's in person somewhere around the world or virtually. And I really do hope that you'll get out here soon, or I'll be making a trip to LA this summer. And if you're there, I'll be reaching out to you.
Oh yeah, let's do
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. I haven't been there since January last year, so it's on the list that I'll be coming there with the
Thank
kiddos.
you so much. This was really great. I appreciate
Oh, it
it.
was so much fun. Oh, thank you so much, Caroline. So yes, everybody, just click on those links below and follow Caroline and all her incredible ventures and photography and art. And yeah, send her a direct message if you are interested in that guide. So much wisdom and
Yeah.
golden nuggets there.
Or just to say hi. They can just DM me just to
Yes,
say hi.
that's it. And
I'm
Caroline's here in our On
available.
Purpose Collective, so you could always ping her. I'll ping her in this video, and you'll be.
It's mostly my assistant pretending to be me on Facebook these days. I should say. So it's
She's too busy.
if
It's
you really
like,
want to talk to me, don't Facebook message me, Instagram DM me because
all
I don't.
right.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay, that's the secret. The secret's out.
Yeah. All
DM,
right, darling.
Instagram. All right. Thank you so much, Caroline.
Thank you.
Bye, love.
Bye.
All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoy that as much as I did. Caroline is such a lovely, lovely woman. Such an incredible story, and would love to hear your takeaways and what did you get from it. And yeah, do definitely reach out, follow Caroline on her Instagram, and do grab that guide. And yeah, just really, really interesting, right? Like how important uh, our photos and how our branding can really exude that message that we want to portray out into the world and capture and hopefully attract our potential clients. So if you are an entrepreneur or you are in charge of branding for your company, I do really encourage you to grab that guide with Caroline. She's really has some hot hacks on how to take some really incredible photos. And yeah, that's our episode for this On Purpose connection. Again, if you are interested on coming here with me and let's just talk and connect and share what you're up to in the world and how you're living on purpose, then send me a private message, drop a comment underneath this video, and would love to connect and have you on. Until then, everyone, much love and many blessings. Bye.